Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Firebug and today I'll be talking about my experience with Smite 2 and what's my thoughts on it. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say that Smite 2 is pretty fun. Um, Probably because I don't know if it's just the game or it's just like the balancing is really good. I never really had a problem with the balance in this game, like the gods or even the items. I feel like everything's kind of like well balanced. I know others may disagree with that with me, but I can understand. I do understand that Fenrir is kind of, good, but I think he's only good because of the matchup and not the god itself. So what I mean by that is, in Smite 1, you can have one god counter a different god. Doesn't matter. It kind of has the same format as Overwatch, right? You get one character that can counter the other character, but with Fenrir being in the alpha stage, he's good with those kind of matchups against these certain other gods. Of like, let's say, a Zeus that doesn't really have an escape, or let's say even the Anubis. Those kind of like gods. It's kind of easy for him to like jump in, kill, get out. I'm not saying like Zeus or Anubis are bad. Like none of the gods in this game are bad. Like none. I feel like the only one that I feel like when I was playing or playing each character was kind of Bacchus. I don't know if they need to change him or something, because having beads with every character kind of counters him. So it was kind of like Bacchus does need a little bit of touch up, but other than that, I feel like every god in the game felt pretty balanced to me. Like yes, let's say Fenrir is S tier, Bologna is pretty good, Chalk is pretty good, and Athena is pretty good. Of course, Athena is good because one, she's been banned in every ranked game in Smite, so she's just gonna be good in general. So the gods feel fine. The game runs perfect. For an alpha stage, I never really had any actual in-game issues. The only issue that I did encounter is I think like two or three. That is one, the login issue. I feel like that's just an alpha kind of thing. So I had to restart my Smite to I think like one or tries, and then I finally got into it. So, but it's not like the game breaking. It's like, oh, don't play Smite 2 because of that. Oh. But um, the other issue that I had was some of the autos when you do auto attack with like say camps or even the gods when you battle. It does feel kind of clunky, and then some of them don't sync when even if you just hit anything. Like it could be minion wave, jungle camps, gods, you name it. But I noticed that a lot more with Bologna, with her ribbons swapping, so that is a little thing. But again, it's just they're just tiny little issues, but it's not like a huge issue. The only big bug that I did encounter is when the matchups are one, way too long, and two, there was one time, or I think there's two times, that I went into a game, went to like a match, and it lasted for like 50 to even an hour. Some of the matches stopped at 50. Just straight up stopped at 50. I don't know if anyone else encountered this problem, but it happened to me twice. And I just thought it was weird as hell. And no, the Titan wasn't under attack on either side. Both sides had phoenixes, but when it hits the 50 mark, the game just says, "Hey, you lose," or "Hey, you win," because the enemy team has more points or more gold. I don't know, but it was just really weird. Another thing I don't like about Smite 2, and this is like when I start complaints is one, the map feels a little too small in my opinion. I do like how the game looks. I'm not saying the map looks bad. I'm not saying the map is bad, like design wise. I'm just saying the map feels a little small compared to Smite 2. So this is my little thing. I don't know. It just felt like that. Another thing I don't like is the teleporters. What I liked about Smite 1 teleporters is like you don't get to choose to back and forth, back and forth. This one, you get to choose. So I think I had a matchup that I was chasing a Loki and he kept going through the teleporters to try to get away from me. So what would he do is he will go to the teleporter and then on the other side, he will wait until I'll go through the same teleporter, and then he will go through the teleporter again just to try to escape from me, and then he will just keep doing this. And there's no limit on the teleporters, so you can just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I didn't like that. I was like, this is kind of dumb. What I liked about Smite 1 is like you don't get to do a back and forth kind of thing. So you go to one lane to another, and you're stuck there. So that's just my thing. I like the idea of teleporters, but I just, again, I don't like how Smite 2 did it. So that's one thing I wish they could change. Another thing is I want to have the totem back. Yes, I like the horn. I feel like the horn is good. Put the horn maybe in mid lane, right? Because I feel like mid lane's kind of lacking. All they have is this gold and some cams on each side. Again, I don't know what the purpose is. I have random golds just scattered around the Conquest map, but I'm not complaining. I'm not saying it's a bad feature or anything. I just didn't understand that. I feel like it was just out of pocket kind of thing. I don't like the whole like, oh, whoever interacts it first gets it. It's kind of dumb in my opinion. This happens to the blower horn. The war horn. I'm sorry. This happens to the coins. This happens to like almost anything. I like the idea of the interaction button, but at the same time, it's kind of like what the heck, So that's why I'm saying add the totem back in solo lane, because at least the totem you have a fighting chance to like whoever gets it first. Can get it, or let's say like if I kill the solo laner, I can still get it. You get the idea. Another thing I don't like about Smite 2 is the camps. I feel like it's kind of dumb that the first camp when you kill it doesn't drop anything. It's like, what's even the point of going over there and killing it? The gold and XP is kind of like it's there, gives you a small boost, but it's not like a huge game breaking or a huge snowball. And so I feel like just having 1, 2, and 3 fine. Like it's not a game breaking thing. I do like the concept of like they upgrade, but maybe have like a certain way to like, I don't know, like different interactions of why they're upgrading. It's not just like, oh, you keep killing them, they get stronger, ha ha ha, kind of thing. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So, yeah. Anyways, I think that's majority of the problems that I don't like about the game. Everything else just feels fine. Oh, never mind. There is some more problems. So, I do play on Smite on controller. Yes, I am a PC player, but I always played Smite on controller because I started off as Xbox and then I switched to PC. But I've always, had never really changed to keyboard and mouse on Smite. So the keyboard, the controller problem is that the VGS seems a little off in my opinion. I don't know what it is exactly, but it feels like because most of the time I'm muscle memory, right? Like, oh yeah, I could say whatever. But when it came to Smite 2, some of the inputs are kind of off. I don't know who is in charge of that. Just make sure you can look back into it, because I don't know if I'm the only one that had this problem, but I just noticed like saying, for example, like the yes, it seemed different than in Smite 2 than it is in Smite 1. Don't know what that is. Majority of it works fine. So there's that. Another thing is the store. The store on controller, it's kind of dumb. You might as well just grab your mouse and keyboard and type it in and use the mouse to like navigate, because it's so much faster than me trying to navigate through the controller. It was kind of like a headache in my opinion. Another thing I don't like about Smite 2, the way that the items, the mana and the health pot are in your item slots. At first, I thought, oh, you only get 4 items. So, and when it hits a late game, I only had 4 items because I didn't know that the mana and the health pots take up your slots for items, and it never really clicked on me until I started using my mana and pots when I ran out. And then when it ran out, I realized, oh, you can add actually 6 items to your build. So that's the thing that I wish they could be changed. Another thing I don't like is how everybody just has beads. So when it comes to Bugx, right? When I was playing them, if it was kind of rough because everybody has beads, so they could just beads anytime they want, and the cooldown on the beads are pretty short. So he's not really fun to play with playing Bugx. That's why he's like not as good as let's say like Fenrir, or or let's say even Ymir. Ymir was fine playing because at least he has a wall, and at least he has like some kind of more control. With Bugx, he doesn't really have that control besides burping. So when his burp's gone, he kind of doesn't really do much. So that's just one of my pet peeves. I think Aegis should not be in Smite 2 because, oh my god, Aegis is kind of it was pretty good getting kills in Smite 2. It felt satisfying. It doesn't even feel like, oh man, I had to worry about someone's gonna Aegis when I try to last hit him. So yeah, keep Aegis out of the game, please. You can add back like Blink. I feel like Blink is fine. I feel like Sprint is okay. I feel like Hasten is fine. Even Shield, Meditation, fine. Like most of these are fine. I just don't like Aegis because the way that people use it was just like, oh, I'm about to die, pop it, and then you at the end of the day you still get the kill, but it's just like, what's even the point of popping Aegis if you're just gonna die? Oh, because it had that small life to it. It doesn't matter. Like 99% of the time they still die, so it's like, why? I'm not saying Aegis is such a bad item. There's some uses for it, but majority of the way that people use it is just like, oh, instead of Aegising the raw ult, even though you have like full health, they will take the head of the raw ult, realize, oh, I'm 1 HP, and then if they see anything, then they use the Aegis. It's kind of like dumb in my opinion. So yeah, I don't like the whole just everybody has beats. The wards, perfect, dude. It bothers me so much in Smite 1 that nobody wards, or they buy it so late in the game. They only buy it for when it comes to like 20 minutes in the game, and they're like, oh, get a ward of the fire giant. It's like, why is that even the thing? Just buy wards in the, probably like, not in the very beginning, but you can build it pretty close to early game, mid game, and late game, please. So having everybody have wards, perfect. Like it doesn't cost anything. You can just place it anywhere. It's fine. I like it. Sure, it's only 1 ward, but it's better than not having wards. So I do like that change. Another thing I like is how the Gold Fairy, oh my gosh, felt pretty good to fight against, and the buffs that it drops is pretty good. So I like that. The fire giant is okay. I feel like he's a lot smaller in Smite 2. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, he doesn't really move. I noticed. I don't know if the Smite 1 fire giant moves or if he even needs to move. But it was kind of funny how the smaller fire giant doesn't really move and stays in place and just starts throwing stuff at you. I just thought it was kind of funny. His animations kind of wonky at times, so just be careful with that. But other than that, I feel like it's fine. What else can I talk about? Oh, the items. Okay, so back to the items. Yes, there are some items that are better than others, but it's never to the point that I've had an issue with a broken item. So let's say like in Smite 1, you can have an Erlang with a Equinox and with no defense and get a pentakills all through a conquest map. And yes, that did happen to me. And I was like, what the heck? This game, all the items feel actually balanced in a way. Yes, again, there are some items that are better than others, but it's never to the point like, even if you had auto build on, it's never to the point like I had a disadvantage. Even if I didn't know what to build, or I'm still experimenting what builds, because you can build anything you want in Smite 2. It doesn't matter if it's well, in their case, it's strength or like physical or intelligence. And I feel like it was fine. I didn't really care about the whole tree system. I mean, at first I was kind of confused about it, but other than that, I realized, oh, it doesn't really matter. Tier 3s or tier 3s. Tier 2s is kind of like whatever. And then tier 1s are like, what the fuck, you know? Because like, how do I explain it? It's a different way to build in the game. It's not like, oh, here's tier 1, here's tier 2, here's tier 3. In the beginning, you can get like 4 tier 1s, and then those 4 tier 1s can go up to tier 2s. You can have up to tier like 2 to 3 tier 2s, and then there's a tier 3. I don't know, not the biggest fan of that. I feel like it's just kind of you know, it's there. I know other games like League does this, and what's the other one? Pelagon or predecessor, whatever it's called. Anyways, I know that they do that kind of format, but in Smite 2, it just doesn't really feel right. Also, why is the names in some items different? Like Titan's Bane's gonna be Titan's Bane, not Obsidian Crusher. Well, you might. It's the same thing, same like artwork. You might as well just call it Titan's Bane. Like, I don't understand why they're changing the names. It just gets more confusing. Just keep it as it is. Like, you already have the same items in the game. Some of the items are even the same. Like, was it Hydra's? Hydra's limit is still Hydra's limit, and it's still in the game. So why change the names? That doesn't make sense to me. If it's in Smite 1, keep the names from Smite 1 into Smite 2. You don't need to confuse people, especially when first impressions mean a lot to your games. So yeah, I'm just thinking, like, you know, as a new player, they're like, okay, I haven't played Smite forever, and then or they haven't played at all, and then they play Smite 1 and then they play Smite 2, they get all confused. And then that's when people don't want to play your game. So it's like, you might as well keep the elements from Smite 1, but you can alter it. It's fine to alter it, and because it's a new game. Just don't change the names. That just doesn't make sense to me. Why would you change Titan's Bane to Obsidian Shatter? And it just, what? So that's just one of my things that really kind of like made me want to question myself and scratch my head. It's like, why would they do that? Another thing I do like about Smite 2 is the towers and how they drop gold. And there's like three like kind of like, I guess I want to say challenges or bonuses when you attack the towers. I like the idea because it forces players to actually like go and attack the towers. Not just tower setting. Oh my god, tower city drives me nuts into Smite. So having like kind of like the bonus gold and the kind of like that feels rewarding to those who are actually pushing up. So I do like that aspect a lot. You could probably add the bastions into the game. I've always liked the bastions. I feel like it's fine. You could even have, one bastion into the game. If you don't know what bastions are, they're little shields but in front of each tier 1 towers. So I feel like adding those would have been fine. I know it's not in Smite 2, but I feel like it's still there, right? It's still there. I get it why they kind of removed it, because you don't want to reward the player too much for gaining the bastions and the towers. But again, it would have been cool to see those again. The horns, I feel like they're fine. I like the idea of having siege juggernauts, not siege juggernauts, but bigger minions pushing up the lane is fine. Again, I just don't like the whole interacting. I don't understand the whole like why there's random gold anywhere, and then like whoever pushes the interact button first gets it. It's kind of dumb. I feel like there has to be some way to like activate the horn faster. If let's say like if you have to stand into that little area and then it activates, or you guys fight in that little area and then whoever wins activates. Something, right? Something. Not just like, oh, I activated it and then the other solo laner could just go over there and just activate theirs and then it counteracts it. It's like, what's even the point? So I feel like that would be a good change. Other than that, I feel like everything else is kind of fine. I enjoy Smite 2. I feel like there's a lot of potential, and I feel like there's a lot of things that they could do to the game and bring to the table. So yeah, I'm actually excited for the future of Smite 2. I feel like it's a good step. Is it better than Smite 1? Right now, since it's at alpha phase, I wouldn't want to say kinda, but it's not to a point like it's like, oh my gosh, I love Smite 2. It's more like it's a good step up, right? It's kind of like a tier list, right? Smite 1 is probably like C tier, and then Smite 2 is like an A tier. A tier is like right there. Like it's good, but it's not like perfect. Perfect game would be an S tier. That's like, oh, everybody wants to play Smite 2. Oh, everybody wants to spend money on Smite 2. So, I know this video is going to be a little bit longer, but I got to talk about one last thing. And so, this is going to be the section of me talking about the future of Smite 2. What I would want to see in Smite 2 in the future. So, first off, I want to say I want the Conquest map a little bigger. Like you have a new engine, you have you could do whatever into this game. Don't limit yourself at how small the game is. So please make interesting maps. Like I want you guys to go all out on the maps, and I want you guys to like just do whatever, because honestly, I feel like they kind of played it safe with this Smite 2 map. And I understand, maybe the map's not the biggest focus, it's probably just the gameplay and how the game is. But I would love just to change it, or make it more godly, or make it more like, in the universe of Smite, right? Whatever that universe is. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, please bring back the lore in Smite. I feel like the reason why most people are not into the Smite game is because there's no story, there's no lore, there's none of that. If you guys added like just a tiny bit of lore, it would have been good, right? Bring back like the whole Odyssey thing that when Ares kills Chalk and then takes the axe of Chalk, or when Ares goes through like this whole corruption rampage because of the shield that he picks up. Stuff like that makes the story, it makes the characters more likable than just like, here you go, here's another update. So if you guys have the time, please invest into like a good story, not like written by a 10-year-old. Because I'm not saying the story in Smite 1's like the best. It's just like your guys' game is rated T. I expected like a rated T kind of storyline, not like, I don't know, Percy Jackson's like version of Smite. So anyways, back to the more into Smite business. More about like things I would like to see in the future is, again, more gods, of course. Please don't make certain gods OP, and when they do release, I know that was like one of your things in Smite 1. It's always been a headache every time a new god is released and everybody picks them because, well, one, I get it, new god, but two, it's like they're stronger, so they're gonna get nerfed the next patch. So it's like you might as well just keep them everything balanced, because it does make the game feel better, in my opinion. Another thing I would like to see is just more maps, again, more game modes, because having Conquest is fine, and like I like Conquest, but you have a different game engine now. I would love to see like a 6v6 or even an AVA would be kind of interesting to have. And I don't see why it would be a limited thing to do, because you have a new, game engine. So I feel like your possibilities are way bigger than a Smite 1's game engine that is, a couple years old, say the least. So yeah, this new game engine you guys are all hyped about, why not go all out and make different game modes that are cooler than, or even better, like make the game stand out from League, make the game stand out more than any of your competitors. It could be, a new thing, and people would be talking about it. So it's like, why not? Another thing I would like to see is, please, for the love of God, get rid of the chest system for when you buy things in the game. I'm going to keep saying this. Please get rid of the chest system. I feel like it's outdated. You need to get rid of it. You can add chest, fine, but you need to do something different than just what it is right now, because it's completely outdated. Again, another thing I would like to see is the clan system back. Just have something to communicate with other people, because I feel like communication in this game is kind of lacking. Even in Smite 2 Alpha, I didn't know how to change if my game chat was on or not. So I don't know if people get to hear my beautiful voice. So that's something to work on as well. Communication and having people get into the game. Another thing that I would want to say is, I know you're not bringing back most of the skins, but have the community vote what skins be in the game, and also the community skins, bring that back, and I would like to see those into Smite 2, because I feel like those have the right to be in Smite 2. To say like their Relix one is a fan favorite, so not seeing that in Smite 2 would be heart shattering to some players. Anyways, that is all for now. Thank you so much for listening to me ranting about Smite 2 and what my thoughts are. If you agree, leave a comment below. If you disagree, leave a comment below. Like, I will answer any comment. Because one, I'm a small YouTuber, so I can have that privilege to even communicate with you guys. And if you guys like this video, give it a like. I mean, it's free. It doesn't hurt anybody. So, and yeah, if you want to continue watching these kind of videos and be talking about Smite 2 or Smite 1, subscribe and hit the bell and never miss another video. All right. That's going to be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. All right, I just want to say one last thing. Smite devs, if you are watching this video, please, for the love of God, take your time making Smite 2. The last thing I want is this game to be rushed out, because there is other games that have been rushed out. Let's say Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk's one of my favorites. I, had videos of that game in my channel. Please, for the love of God, do not rush games out. Take your time in Smite 2. Do as much time you need to. There's no rush. Like, the fans of Smite can wait. I feel like I can wait for Smite 2. Even if it takes a year to even be a full release, that's okay. Just please, for the love of God, take the time to make this game great, because I feel like you guys have a great opportunity to make this game. You guys have every option to make this game so much more than what you guys expected. I get it. You're a small company, and I get that new engine and all this other stuff. I understand that. I'm just saying, take the time to perfect this game, and then it will really show it off. For example, Baldur's Gate 3 took as much time to make the game, and it really pays off. So why not do this? Why not keep testing your game? Why not have more tests into the alpha or whatever? Just what I'm begging you is, please, 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 for the love of God, do not rush this. Because I feel like you guys have a good opportunity to make something really good here. And majority of the feedback that I have seen on YouTube on other videos is mostly positive. So please, again, do not rush this. Okay? All right. That's all I'm going to say. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.